Hi, I'm Shirley Farrar, and I'm coming to you from On the Spot Career Talk. And today we're going to talk about our unsung heroes. Today, that would be our nurses. There are several nurses that we can talk about. However, I want to focus on three types of nurses. The first one is your registered nurse, the second one is your licensed practical nurse, and the third is your Bachelor of Science nurse. Each of them come into their own a different way. And so I want to discuss that today. Now, the first one, the registered nurse, a lot of times people are confused in how they actually acquire their education. And there are two ways they could do that. They can actually go to a university and get a 4-year degree. However, they can also go straight from high school into a vocational program and become an RN through certifications that they would test for. That particular person, an RN, would be a supervisor over a licensed practical nurse, and they would be necessary to be on call when the licensed practical nurse is providing their service. A registered nurse is the individual that if a doctor or a nurse practitioner was not present, that they could pronounce someone who has died or is now deceased. And these individuals would do most of the paperwork, majority of the paperwork for being a nurse. And they would do a lot of the desk nurse responsibilities. They may even be for like a hospice nurse, something like that. These particular individuals would definitely handle the paperwork in that field. I also would like to say that the job openings for a registered nurse right now is about 210,000. Currently, there are about 3 million nurses that are working in 2020 and 11% growth rate for this particular occupational title. They make about $59,000 to $106,000 a year based on their education and their experience. Experience is always the key. You need at least 1 to 2 years of training on the job in order to accomplish being a registered nurse, in addition to your education. Now, the licensed practical nurse, this particular individual would do the basic nurse duties, assigning beds, making sure that the meds are where they need to be, those type of things. This individual would do, again, vocational training. They might have some college, but it's really about making sure they have the science knowledge to take the certifications for this particular occupation. Now, their job openings for this occupation would be about 66,000, and currently there are about 729,000 licensed practical nurses who are currently working. And we thank God, we thank them for doing what it is that they do, because we know that they are necessary. Their salaries are about $44,000 to $62,000 a year. So all the work that they do, the services that they provide, we commend them. In addition to that, we have the Bachelor of Science nurse. And this particular nurse is the nurse that would go and get a bachelor's degree, particularly in the sciences, which is like chemistry or biological sciences. And all of the nurses, no matter who you are, they would prefer that they would have a CNA certification. This is really important. If you were just going to be a certified nurse assistant, then you would make about $27,000 a year. So some people would start out that way, and then they would transition to an LPN or an RN certification. So it is all about what is best for you and the level of your responsibility that you would like to do on the day-to-day. And for a Bachelor of Science nurse, I would definitely say that these individuals, because they have a bachelor's degree, will transition majority of the time. If they're interested in teaching, they would teach in the universities by going on to get their master's degree as well as their doctoral. And I would like to just talk about the nurses in general. If you're going to branch out, whether you start out with a BSN, which is over a registered nurse, you can advance to a nurse practitioner, which you will need additional education because they do exactly what the doctor does. However, They are not the doctor, of course, because that's additional education. But all of the responsibilities that a doctor does, the nurse practitioner can be on call to also do those duties. And then you have the biological science teacher, the nurse midwives, clinical nurse, and the acute care nurse. All of them can obtain these particular positions if they have a BSN. I'd like to say that 80% of the time, all of them are exposed to diseases like what we're going through right now with the COVID-19. So we need to be mindful and courteous to them and reach out to them, be respectful of what they do to assist us every day, whether we're at the hospitals or not. And keep in mind that 92% of the time they're going to have person-to-person contact. It really takes a genuine person to have the empathy to be able to be compassionate for multiple people that come and go throughout the health industry. I'd like to share that if you are interested in getting a Bachelor of Science degree to become a Bachelor of Science nurse, you would definitely need to research that online, because right now that's a great opportunity for you to do that. There are various schools nationwide that have accredited programs for nursing. You can even start out at the county colleges and then go on to get your certifications or take the test to get your certifications. So do your research, look into it. I'm certain that whatever decision you make, it's the best one for you. And I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Miss Gretchen Vaughn, who provided me some of the industry information in regards to nurses. So thank you so much, Miss Vaughn. I really wanted to interview you. However, with the situation in the current state right now, we're unable to be person to person. So I'm Shirley Farrar. I hope this information has been helpful to you, and I am signing out.